Hello and welcome back to the channel. I just thought I would do a quick review of this BMW 116D diesel. When I walk around, it's got the 17-inch diamond cut alloys. I don't know if they're standard or aftermarket. I'm not really that into these BMWs. I'm just doing a quick walk around review of it. I can't tell you absolutely everything about them, but I noticed BMW have now started not putting badges on the back. That's probably because nothing ever actually matches up. Like, this is a 116D, but it's a 1.5. So why they didn't just call it a 115D is beyond me. You know, it's got the tinted back windows. This is just a base spec one, I believe, if judging by the interior. There's not that much fancy in it. God knows why it's got black mirrors. They must be standard. I think the class is some kind of a black package on these. I think you get the black chrome instead of the silver colours. You get the black and the black mirrors. If not, it's just some kind of extra. Not really sure if I'm too keen of that, to be honest, but whatever. Yeah, so starting by, it's a 19 plate. It's just been in for its first service, which was an oil and filter change, pollen filter change, brake fluid change, and a general, obviously, inspection. Reset the service lights, which I'll show you on the computer. So yeah, so that's as much as I can tell you about the. I mean, obviously the high spec ones come with the LED headlights. This has just got standard ones on it. I'll start it up and you'll see it's got like the LED running lights on it. I'll just fire it up. There's the dash. I'll just go up on the front. So you obviously have got your standard kind of LED running lights on it. I don't like this idea with these. So your bonnet catch, you pull it, and then you go out to the front of the car, you hear it pop, and you'll be looking for the secondary catch, and there's none there. I suppose if you look at it properly, it tells you pull it twice. It's stupid, really. I don't know why you don't just pull it once like the normal way and use a catch. So there we go. A very uninteresting 3-cylinder 1.5 diesel. It's got 115 brake horsepower. I mean, these BMWs are known as the F20. I mean, I'm having to read this off a bit of paper because I very much lack in interest in BMWs. I find them rather overpriced and overrated for what they are. I mean, this car, new, I'm guessing would have been 20 grand or more. It's a base spec. For that kind of money, you could probably get a top of the range Focus. Well, not top of the range, but you know what I mean. I just find them a lot of money for what they are. So anyways, there's your twin turbo 3-cylinder 1.5 diesel. It barely looks like there's an engine under the bonnet. I mean, when you look here, you've got all of this space. There's nothing there, by the way. It's just an air filter. There's nothing underneath. All of this. I mean, we're talking well over a metre. I know it's for weight, obviously. It's still rear-wheel drive and everything. But it's nice just to see an engine under a bonnet. There's just nothing there. It's tiny. You know, 3-cylinder diesel, as you can see. I don't know if the camera picks that up or not. It's rattling and moving all over the place. You see all that moving? Nah, not my kind of thing, but I'm doing a review because this seems to be what everybody wants nowadays, BMWs. The petrol ones of these, by the way, I'm going to turn this off instead of having to talk over that, what shall we call it, engine noise, rattling. So yeah, I do petrol ones of these, and I don't know if everybody knows this, but they have a Citroen engine in, Citroen and Peugeot. So if you've got a 1 Series petrol, you know, the littler engine ones, the 1.6s, you've got a Citroen and Peugeot engine. I'm not that clued up on this engine. I must admit, when I changed the oil filter, it looked very Citroen to me. I just service a lot of PSA engines, and the filter definitely did look like a Citroen and Peugeot filter, but I'm not that clued up. I don't know. I don't even know if Citroen and Peugeot do a 3-cylinder. This could be a BMW unit using the same like oil filter housings, but the petrol ones, definitely Citroen and Peugeot engine, which have that fair share of problems as well. I mean, I must admit, the only one of these I did like the look of was the 140, which are quite a good car, but a lot of money. So that's under the bonnet here. I mean, I would assume... Actually, no, I'm wrong. I was going to say I would assume it's free road tax, but with it being a 19 plate now, the new tax rules, I think it'll be £150 a year tax, because they did away with all the free tax, I think, after 2017. So every car, unless it's a hybrid, is 150, I think it is. And if it's a hybrid, it's 140. So they did away with all this £20 a year, £30 a year, and free tax now. It's all just, regardless of the size of the engine. That's what you get. So we'll start off at this side here. Like I said, this is just a base spec, so it's just cloth interior. I think this must have some kind of what you call a black styling pack. It's got the piano black interior, it's got the tinted windows, the black mirrors, and the black grille inserts. That's just an educated guess. I don't know 100%. So like, there's obviously, this is your, it's all, you've got no fancy controls on these. Just, I think it has got electric rear windows. As you can see there with that, I know I've got that seat pushed all the way back. There's not a lot of space. So obviously, I'm doing a review on this car just for all of the people who are into... I notice a lot of people buying BMWs and stuff, and I can never figure out what the appeal is, unless it's a crazy one, like an M3 or something, or like I've said, the 140. They're rather interesting. So there's the boot. Again, due to being rear-wheel drive, you've got your rear differential, prop shaft and everything, so you have a very high boot floor. So again, compared to something like a Focus or an Astra, the boot is long-ish, but not very deep. And I know there's panels under here, but what you'll find probably will be... Yeah, exactly, there we go. So a battery to keep the weight at the back, and not a lot else. That's because the differential is behind that panel back there. So like I say, you get a rather high boot floor, and I'll point at that there, which again is not yeah. And so obviously we'll go around. That can was like not one of my favourite things. As you can see there, it's got the old favourite AdBlue on it. I just don't think it looks very good when you've got a 20 grand car sitting on the drive, and every week or so you're having to stand there with this grip, like a big 10-20 litre can, like sort of as if you've run out of diesel. I don't know, I just think if I know all these new vehicles have AdBlue, but I think it's a bit of an embarrassing look having to keep standing pouring this fluid into your car every single time not every single time, but once a month, once every 2 months. I just personally don't like it. I don't like AdBlue at all, and if you get it onto your paintwork and stuff, it makes nasty marks. So I'll go into here. Obviously this is what I was mentioning before with it being a rear wheel. Again, this seat is adjusted for me. I mean I'm about 5'10", so if you're 6 foot, absolutely no leg room for anyone. And this is another problem with rear wheel drive. You've got this huge transmission tunnel, so look how high that is. You can't even get your hand in there. So if you're a middle seat passenger, it's going to be very uncomfortable sitting like that. No space at all. So you've got a little 12-volt plug there, I think. Not a great deal to speak about in the back, but no space at all for the centre passenger due to the transmission tunnel, because that's where your gearbox and prop shaft sit. And not obviously everybody knows the old joke about BMWs in the snow. So again, another downside with them being rear wheel drive. You can't have any, every time it snows or it's wet, you lose traction. And let's face it, people will say rear wheel drive is more fun, but with a 3-cylinder 1.5 diesel, I don't think we're going to be having much fun, are we? So I don't really see the point in them being rear wheel drive now. So we'll jump inside. We'll jump inside and we'll have a look and see what's going on in the interior. So here we go. Again, you've got this BMW system. It's asking you which driver that's in, guest and stuff. So that's a good idea, I suppose. You can choose which driver's in due to what key they're using. It changes all your settings. Like I've mentioned, I think this is just a base spec. Don't ask what it is. I haven't got a clue. I don't even know what BMW use to what's the word? Like different car models. I don't know if they're using SE. They used to do that. Haven't got a clue what this will be classed as. But like I said, this has just got your manual climate control. But I'll tell you one thing. I've said this in another video. I prefer this. I really do prefer this, because the higher spec one's got all the 2 different screens for dual zone climate control, and they're a right pain when you're driving, trying to work out what it is. I really do, I must say, I'll give the thumbs up to this on the lower spec car. It's just, okay, we'll set it to 22 degrees. Great, easy. Right, that's getting too hot. We'll turn it down to cold. Right, we want it on the screen. Hold on, I want it to blow me in my face. Right, I want it on the floor. How easy is that? Instead of these other ones where you're going through modes, trying to decipher what little tiny little pictures are trying to simulate. Where with these, just nice old-fashioned, turn it to the screen, there we go. Turn it to cold, 22 degrees, 20 degrees, fan up and down, easy as that. Heated rear screen, easy as that. Air conditioning, on and off. None of this, you know, circulation, on and off. So it's all just nice. And you want it switched off, you press off, and it's off. So that is a good idea, I like that. The CD player, obviously you've got like your 8 stations to pick from, media, and obviously like all BMWs have these days, you've got, I think it's called like your iDrive system. And then on this vehicle you've got like your traction control, your sport, and your Eco Pro. So if you put it onto sport, you'll see on there, see there, sport plus. That obviously knocks off your, that must be to have a bit of fun. Like I've said, I can't imagine you would be having much fun with a 3-cylinder 1.5 diesel. Like I've said, maybe the 140 or something like that, but whatever. And down obviously, so you've got Eco Pro, Comfort. I think all this is just mainly, on this car being lower spec, it'll just adjust your throttle response and your steering and loosen up the traction control a bit. It'll not have no automated dampers or nothing like that. It's not that highly spec. So I'll just put that back to Comfort there. And obviously, you've, again with this car, which I was surprised at, no cruise control. Bearing in mind, you know, I know it's a base spec car, but this would have been about 50, like, it's got to be more than 15 grand, 20 grand. All you get is a limiter. So you put the limiter on and you turn it up. Come on, if you've got the effort, if putting a full-on limiter, and I've drove this car, the limiter does actually stop you from going over that speed. That's exactly the same system as cruise control, 100% the same. The fact that this has been in here, all of the effort and the governs are in there to have cruise. So why just give you a limiter for? It would have cost a matter of pennies to have just had the cruise button there. So you know, yeah, you can set it to 70 on the motorway, but then you've still got to keep your foot planted on the floor. So to me, a premium car, I mean, let's think of something here. You know, BMW, regardless of its top or bottom spec, it's meant to be a premium product. So let's think of something here. A Vectra, all come as standard with cruise control. A Mondeo, all come as standard with cruise control. You know, like, let's think of a smaller car. Even little Corsas, most of them have cruise control. You know, like, I think that's a bit of a shabby job, that. But whatever, again, these are what people want to spend thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of pounds on. So, anyways, so there you go, no cruise, just a limiter. You've got your kind of computer system on here where you can scroll through your miles per hour, date, oil temperature, I believe that is, time, 51 to the gallon. You know, it will be economical, this vehicle, 100%. I wouldn't take that away from it. And there you go, I quite like that, having your speedo on. I do like that feature. This is one thing I wish my Mitsubishi had, because it's okay having this, but it's very sort of in the middle, like the 30s here, and it's very difficult to see. And that green dot's only because I've got the limiter on. And obviously there, I do like that. And I will say, I do like this dashboard, because it's not the digital type, the actual mechanical pointers. As you can see, it does look okay. So yeah, I don't mind the dashboard on it. So obviously the indicators are very much like the Vauxhall range. You know, like a soft touch, you can do your 3 each way, you know. And that does your computer and your parking lights. And it's, where's the key? Again, so we've got the key. I don't know if somebody's put that on, but we've got a red bar around it. Why, I don't know. The car's not red. It's got no red on the interior. Maybe is it because the screen's red? I don't know if that's how they're sold. Somebody might have just added this as an extra, but it doesn't really match the car. But like I said, you've got, yeah, I do like this idea. You don't have, again, because I hate this idea where you have to push keys in. As long as you've got it on you, you just, I don't think this car being base spec has got the one like full keyless entry. You've still got to use the remote to lock and unlock, but when you get into the car, you just put the key down somewhere and press the stop start button. So, and you've got, yeah, you can turn your stop start system off, which I also hate stop start, and I would have that switched off, but every time you restart the car it comes back on again. So along there, so I mean, for a base spec as well, you know, it's not bad. You've got front fog lamps and you've got automatic headlamps, so that's not too bad. Let's have a look. There's a sensor up here. You've got your rear dipped in mirror and rain sensing wipers, so that's not too bad. Obviously you can see there you've got your auto function on it. So, you know, if we've got automatic lights, automatic wipers, limiter, why they haven't put cruise in is just beyond me. So yeah, across to this malarkey here, like your iDrive thing, you use it all from down here. If anybody's got a BMW, you'll know how to use it. So you go through and you've got your I must admit, I like this system, the iDrive. BMW were one of the first who brought this design out. So, you know, it does work, and it's a nice screen to work with. So, you know, you've got like your the maps, yeah, obviously you can connect it to your phone, weather coming up. I like that function, I must admit. I do like this system on this car. And you've got my vehicle, so we're going to my vehicle, down to vehicle settings, iDrive settings. You can do all sorts with this, changing how long your lights stay on for, you know, all sorts of stuff like that. So we'll go down to vehicle settings, I think it was. There you can put your speed warning, lights, doors, all sorts of stuff. I'm trying to find the one that I need now. Where is it? Vehicle. I like what's on here as well. So you've got your tyre pressure monitoring, which I've reset that as part of the service. You've got your engine oil level. There's my favourite, your AdBlue. But I like this idea though. You put it on there, it tells you. See, you've got 6,000 miles of range, and to refill it you need 6.5 litres. Now that's a good idea, because a lot of times you don't have a gauge like this. So if you know your AdBlue, if you want to top it up, you see there 6.5. So if you went out and bought a 5 litre bottle of AdBlue, you know you're more or less going to have it full. Or go out and get a 10 litre one, and you know that you'll be able to fill it up to the top. So that's a good idea. I like that. I'm trying to stay positive for the minute, because as much as I'm not that keen of BMWs, low spec ones like this kind of thing, there is some good in them, you know, I will say that. Vehicle check, service requirements, there you go. So obviously I've done all that today. Vehicle inspection, okay, brake fluid, engine oil, braking check, rear brakes, all that. And I like these BMWs as well, because your brake pads, sensors, they don't just come on when your pads are down to the metal. Basically what they do is the sensor wears with the pad, so it will tell you if your brake pads are 20%, 50%, 80%. It does mean every single time you've got to change the wear indicator, but they're not that expensive. So, and this has been like this with BMWs for a long time. I do like that idea, so I'll, you know, give the thumbs up to that. You've got all this service and stuff and all the rest of it. So yeah, I'll go back to where it was, because I'll leave it where it was originally. You've got this thing up here like an SOS button. I assume if you have it connected to your phone and you have an accident, you can press this button, or it'll automatically contact the emergency services or something. I think that's how it works. Let's have a look at the sun visors. Yeah, I mean, better than my L200, but for a BMW, no light, you know. Have a look at the other one. Yeah, no light, letting you know that you're in poverty spec. I don't actually think this is a base spec car. I think it's a low spec car. I think that's probably a lot less spec than this, to be quite honest with you. 6-speed gearbox. I mean, in the drying stuff, these cars drive really nice, you know, and with the bigger engines, okay. But I do know a lot of problems with these, where the rear subframes are rotten out on them, and they have had a lot of issues, and they're not the best to work on, to be quite honest. So there's your seats. No, alright, I must admit I'm sitting in this one very comfortable, but I'm awfully low to the floor. I literally feel like I'm sitting on the grass. I don't know if it's just because the seat's adjusted low, but I'm not keen of sitting such low down, unless you're in a big growling sports car or something. Yeah, it's nice to have that feel, but having to keep climbing in and out the thing, you're practically on your knees getting in and out of it. As you can see there, it's not a great deal of, there's the step and there's the seat. You're practically sitting, you're sitting on the floor. There's like just the window line, and here's the top of the seat. So your head, if you look there, there's the top of the seat. So there's where your neck is. So if the top of your head's barely poking. I'm sitting here, and I feel as if I'm not much. I'm sort of working out. Yeah. So my top of my head is about here. I like a very low roof line on them, and there's your Bluetooth like speaker for doing all your controls. Yeah. So obviously you've got your headlight adjustment, front and rear fogs down there. It's not a great deal as to speak about with these. I mean, there's a load of stuff in there. I think there'll be some kind of USB plug-in thing. I don't know what's down there. There's another 12-volt socket, stuff like that. I don't know what's in the glove box. Let's have a look. Don't know if there's anything interesting in there. So yeah. There's a review of a BMW 116D. I just thought I would put this out there because I see so many people buying these BMWs, and Mercedes is another one. I'm going to do a review next time I get one of those in, because half of them are running about with Renault 1.5 DCI engines in. Exactly what's fitted to that car right there. So going out spending all this money and you're driving around in a blinged up Renault, and these are the same. You're buying BMW and half the time you're getting a flipping Citroen and Peugeot engine. Don't quote us on this engine, I could be wrong, but definitely the 1.6 turbo petrol engines, they're all Citroen and Peugeot, not BMW. So yeah, I mean, there we go, as a review on this vehicle. If you like this kind of content, as you've seen, I'm not normally very negative on many of my reviews, I'm quite honest, but I'm just speaking from my opinion of quality of, like, when I work on these, I'm reviewing this car just while it's in getting work done. So I'm reviewing the quality of the car mechanically, and what people want to see. You make your own mind up on it. I'm just doing this. So if you're fancying buying yourself a BMW 116D, watch this video and you'll kind of get an idea. Hell of a lot worse cars out there by a mile, but there's a much better cars out there for much less. Compare this to for the kind of money you're buying, you would spend on this, you would get yourself a nice top of the range Honda Civic. In quality wise, they would just blow the socks off one of these things. Or you get yourself a nice Toyota Aris, or something like that. There's thousands of cars out there, but all I'm saying is it's the money these things cost and the appeal this badge seems to have that draws people in, and I half the time I don't think people have a clue what they're even buying, to be quite honest. So yeah, if you like this kind of content, like, subscribe and leave a comment below, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.